For 2 years, two leaders who've been diplomatic brothers in arms. In Kyiv, Sir Keir Starmer's always felt welcome. Today, he was awarded Ukraine's highest honour and committed his successor to the same cause.
Your fight is our fight. Your security is our security. And the United Kingdom will not waver.
Volodymyr Zelenskyy conceded to some concern when his allies changed leaders.
Of course, we're afraid because we are at the war each day. But again, the priority is the relation between nations.
But his mind may have strayed. Not far from the presidential palace, to the rare sight of demonstrations mirrored in other Ukrainian cities against his decision to fire the popular defense minister Mykhailo Fedorov. We're shocked, says this protester. It's completely unacceptable. He's the minister credited with transforming Ukraine's military fortunes, with automated weapons sinking Russian ships, destroying targets close to the front line, and much deeper into Russia. After this strike on St. Petersburg, even Vladimir Putin was forced to admit it's hurting. Fedorov hasn't just deployed his high-tech know-how against the Russians, he's fought corruption at home. And today revealed he'd clashed with Ukraine's top army chief, who he accused of stoking division, leaving President Zelenskyy to side with the generals.
Well, first of all, the army has to work with the ministry together.
I think it's a big gamble. I think it would undermine Ukraine's position in a short-term perspective. Given how popular Fedorov is and how much popular support he has within the Ukrainian population, I think it's quite a risky decision.
One prime minister whose fate is sealed, but Ukraine's future remains uncertain. So too, just now, the authority of its president. John Ray, News at 10.
Joining me to explain a little bit more is security and policy analyst Jimmy Ruston, who's in Kyiv. Jimmy, why has this elicited such an emotional response from people in Ukraine?
So fundamentally, Fedorov was viewed as an effective and competent defence minister, probably the most competent and effective defence minister since the start of the full-scale invasion. And Ukrainians simply don't understand why a figure such as him has been replaced in this, very hasty and seemingly ill-planned reshuffle.
Has Zelenskyy given any indication why he's made this decision?
Yeah, so he said that it was because of these tensions between Fedorov and Zelenskyy, who's the commander-in-chief. I have to say, Zelenskyy is a deeply unpopular figure here. He's controversial. He's presided over a significant number of scandals in the military. He's widely considered a Soviet-style figure. He is very much of the school of using unsophisticated mass wave assaults, very similar to the Russians. Whereas Fedorov is viewed as this technocratic reformer, very much the complete opposite to Zelenskyy. And we've seen this tension developing over a few months, and it seems like Zelenskyy has taken Zelensky's side.
Zelenskyy was incredibly popular at the beginning of the war. Has that now changed?
I think the Ukrainian view of Zelenskyy is complicated. I've met a lot of Ukrainians that still don't want him to resign, don't want him to be replaced, but they want him to listen, and they want him to start governing in a way which is more consensual, rather than slightly autocratic and slightly centralizing authority and putting people who are politically reliable in these key roles, rather than people who are competent. And that's the thing with Fedorov. He was widely viewed as an incredibly competent and effective minister. And Ukrainians just simply don't understand why, when Ukraine's fortunes on the battlefield have changed significantly in Ukraine's favour, he's being replaced.
What could this mean for Zelensky's future? Could it have implications for him?
I think it's a self-inflicted wound. I think it's very similar to the problems that you saw in Ukraine last summer, almost exactly the same time, when Zelenskyy tried to remove the independence of NABO and SAPO, the anti-corruption police and prosecuting authorities, respectively. And it really, again, seems like to many Ukrainians that Zelenskyy is governing more in his own self-interest and the self-interest of the kind of political elite in his party, rather than Ukraine's best interests. And many Ukrainians are saying that explicitly right now. So even though Ukrainians probably by and large don't want him to go, they definitely want him to listen to them, and they want him to put the interests of the country ahead of himself and the party.
Jimmy, thank you ever so much for joining us from Kyiv. Thanks ever so much.